Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you watching this by video, I'm joined at the moment just by one person, but I always like to get started on time. No doubt a few others will join us a bit later. And so what I'm going to do this evening is a fairly standard presentation of e-estates, the information that's available to buyers, the information that's available to agents, some of the recent notices, and I think that'll probably take care of it. I did want to do an analysis of compounding properties, starting with one particular property and using your profit to generate more, or to purchase more properties. I don't think I'll have time for that tonight, but I think I'll do that next Wednesday evening as a standalone presentation. So we've got that to look forward to. So it's Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. UK time, and my name's Andy Galloway, speaking on behalf of eEstate. And let's have a look at what eEstate is, what it does, what it can do for you as a buyer and or as an agent. So to get this started, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go over to my Chrome presentation. Again, the first presentation I'm going to go through is as a buyer. So this is you as a buyer. What does eEstate offer the buyers, the people that are actually buying the properties? So let's scroll through this. This is a PDF document, a presentation that's available in the back office. Once you're registered with eEstate, it's available in the knowledge base, so you can refresh your memory by either looking back at this video or getting hold of the document yourself and talking it through, just going through it yourself. So what is eEstate? eEstate is reinventing real estate, or in particular real estate investments, which is, when all said and done, I know people that are involved in real estate are in it to a certain extent. They're in it to make money, but to another extent, they're in it for their ego. I used to own a real estate business, and it was good fun being able to impress everybody at parties and family gatherings by telling them how well my real estate business was doing, how many properties I have, where they were in the world, and so on, portraying myself as a property mogul. Unfortunately, none of that ego paid me any money. It's only the money-making activities that paid me money. But unfortunately, the money-making activities came with all the problems. So, you know, in order to make rent money from a property, you would have to have a tenant. And to have a tenant and keep a tenant is a lot of work. It's not something that just happens in 5 minutes. And it's an ongoing struggle to keep the right quality of tenants at the right price in your property, avoiding void periods as much as possible, because void periods are massively expensive because the money stops coming in during a void period. A void period is when you don't have a tenant. So the money stops coming in, but the bills don't. The bills continue apace. So they've reinvented real estate investments, not the property ownership side. The property ownership side is a very small part of what we do in real estate. So eEstate. So eEstate is the next generation platform designed to make real estate investments accessible, transparent, and secure. Massive pluses, big ticks in the plus box. It's tokenized ownership. And tokenized ownership simply means that you don't need to own the whole property. You can own a share of it. A property is taken and is tokenized. What that means is it's divided into a number of shares based on the value of the property. And the tokens that we use are EST. That's eEstate's own internal coin. And to start with, I was a little bit concerned because I love Bitcoin. At a push, I'll take payment in USDT, but if I can, I like Bitcoin. And so I was kind of concerned, why are we dealing with EST? But of course, just thinking about it for a few minutes led me to the answer. And that is that if you value a property in Bitcoin and tokenize it in Bitcoin and release it then for all the buyers to buy, when I buy a share of a property today, for example, for $1,000, and you buy a share tomorrow for $1,000, if it's based on the price of Bitcoin, which fluctuates based on market forces, you might end up with more property today than I did yesterday, or you might end up with less property. And of course, that's not fair. That's not accessible. That's not acceptable to most buyers. You know, you don't decide to buy a house based on the exchange rate of a particular coin. It's the price that it is in the estate agent's or the realtor's window. So they introduce their own coin, EST, and they can control the price of that. So that once they've set the value of a property in tokens, that price is set, and the tokens are backed by the real estate that has been tokenized. So it's a perfectly secure token, and it's worth, it equates very, very nicely to dollars in terms of value. So that's tokenized ownership. We also have everything fully available on the blockchain. All of the transactions on the blockchain when you purchase a property, when you receive your commissions, when you receive your bonuses, when you receive your earnings, that's all done on the blockchain. Even the contract that you sign when you purchase a property or share of a property is on the blockchain. It's there permanently. It will never be erased. And global reach. Now, this was a big thing for me because as a real estate a business owner, I was limited to the geographical area in which I operated. In order for me to do deals, it would be limited to 50 miles really from my offices. And even then, I really didn't want to travel 2 hours to just have a meeting with a realtor, or 2 hours in a different direction to meet with a solicitor or a lawyer. So even so, I say 50 miles, it was really limited by the geographical area that I was in. With eState, you can buy property anywhere in the world, anywhere that we have property available, whether it's in Miami or Dubai or Australia or Seattle. It doesn't matter where it is, you can buy some of it. And you can buy it very, very quickly and easily in your dressing gown with a cup of coffee before you even had your breakfast in the morning, if that's what you want to do. As opposed to dressed up in a suit and jump in the car and drive 50 miles and set up a meeting, take notes, send them emails, confirm everything and so on. It's just a pain. This is very, very much more user-friendly. And the real-time analytics and expert insights about your decisions, about your investment decisions. Before you even buy the property, you will be told exactly how much you're going to make every day, how much you make every month, every year, when the return on investment is, what your total return is going to be for the 18-month active period. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's park that. We'll get to that in a minute. But you can see it all before you ever make a decision about which properties to buy and how much to invest. I'm going to skip by this, and we'll have a look at a few things that make this really, really a good proposition. One is that there are low entry barriers. You can buy a share of a property for as little as $100. Now, you're not going to get a huge return for $100, but if that's all you've got and you want to get into the real estate business, $100 is something you couldn't do in the traditional real estate. You couldn't get a look into a property with $100 even a few years ago. So there are very low entry barriers. Also, as I said before, you don't need a huge infrastructure behind you. You can do this in your dressing gown with a cup of coffee in the morning before your breakfast, if that's what you want to do. You don't have to have a whole business running for you and tax filings and all these other things that go along with the business. You can spread your capital across various assets, residential, commercial development, villas, apartments, and so on. Everything's on the blockchain, so that inherently is secure. Blockchains are inherently secure simply because nobody can change what's on the blockchain. Nobody can change it unilaterally. You would need thousands and thousands of people to all agree to change something before it got changed, and it's just not practical. And global reach. We talked about the global reach just now. So when you first sign up as a buyer, and to sign up as a buyer is free. It takes about 2 minutes. You could sign up now. You could get a link off of somebody, go and sign up, and in 2 minutes you could be buying your first property if that's what you want to do. As a level 1 buyer, you have access to apartments, and in this document you can see the daily returns, the monthly yield, the 18-month yield, minimum investment, and so on for these apartments. Now, what I'll do is I'll explain the basic structure. For most of the properties, you purchase a property, you receive daily income then for the first 18 months, After that, it goes into a lifetime passive phase where you receive a 10%, effectively a 10% dividend annually. Every single year, you'll receive a 10% dividend. So you've had your money back from your initial investment. During that 18 months, you get your investment back between 2.5 and 3.5 times, and then you still get a 10% dividend, even though you've actually had all of your investment money back again. So that's the basic structure of pretty much all of these deals. There are some others. If I remember, I will tell you about these others. So you have apartments. In level 1, you can also buy houses. Now, the return on houses is higher than for the apartments, but the minimum investment is higher. So instead of 117, it's 480. With villas, again, it's a better return, but it's a higher starting point. But the structure of the deal is exactly the same. With tourism properties, again, higher investment, higher yield, and commercial properties. So they're the 5 different properties you can buy as a buyer straight off the bat, up to 10,270. Now, if you want to put more money into any of these, you can. I'm just talking about the minimum amounts. And when you're on the back office on the website, and you select to look at one of these properties, one of these property types, it will tell you that if you put this much in, how much you'll get every day, every week, every month, how much you'll get during the 18-month period, and how long it's going to take to get your money back. That's what a lot of investors are interested in, because once you put your money in, you earn money every day, you get your money back. Then what's left that's still producing income for you is basically it's free money. It's casino money. It's your property working for you. In fact, it's the very definition of capitalism. You're staying at home and sending your money out to work for you. And that's exactly what all the wealthy people in the world do. They don't go out and work for themselves. They send their money out to work for them. And that's what you're doing with e-estate in a very, very practical way, in a very real sense. That's exactly what you're doing, because after a few months, you get your investment back again. So level 3, there are land plots. And again, the land plots are a bigger return, but they are a bigger investment. Here you're talking about 51,310 as a minimum investment. Now you might be just starting this and say, well, I'm happy to look at investing maybe $3, $4, $5, maybe $10,000 to get my real estate business off the ground. That's fine. But there are people that come in and say, I like the idea of these land plots. Look at the return I'm going to get. And the fact that it's 51,000 doesn't bother them, because they would have invested in real estate anyway. And in real estate, it's not unusual to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into one property. So this isn't beyond your reach. But of course, that might be something you build up to. That might take you a year. It might take you 6 months. It might take you 2 years to build up to that sort of level, to have that sort of confidence, to have that sort of money. Okay, so you can start small and build build up over a period of time. Then you get to level 4, and again, level 4 is out of the reach of most of us. We start at level 1. We have to qualify for levels 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But again, with these development, now we're talking about almost $100,000. It's the minimum, but you receive back a huge return every 17 to 21% a month. Is a tremendous return. Level 5, business developments, again, huge amount of money, 250,000, but what a great return. Now, in the traditional real estate world, you would not have got this at all, nowhere near it. And so in the traditional real estate world, you have all of the risk, all of the hassle, all of the problems associated with real estate, and you're nowhere near the profit levels you get with tokenized real estate through e-estate. Okay, that's just a fact. That's just the way it is. So there's a profit calculation, and I said earlier that when you look on the website before you go to buy a property, you will see all of these figures, and it will tell you this is the minimum, this is what you're going to receive back. You're going to receive that every day for 5 days. Sorry, you're going to receive that every day for 18 months, and that's 5-day weeks. So it's Monday to Friday. It doesn't include the weekends. This is how much you'll receive per month. And okay, and this is what you're going to receive as an ongoing dividend every year, and all you put in is $117. Okay, now that multiplies out. If you put in 11,700, then multiply everything out by 100. And similarly, houses cost this much, and you get this much in 18 months. So you can see you put in 480, and in the 18-month period, you get between 875 and 1,255. So let's take an average of that. That's going to be 1,050. So you've got more than double your money back. With this one, you put in 7, and you're going to get back between 14 and 20. So that's 2.5 times what you put in. And with this one, 25,000, you're going to get between 64 and 83. So that's anywhere between 2.5 and 3.5 times your investment. And you don't get this sort of thing in, and then you still have the property. So you still have the property earning you money every single year. It needs no time input from you, but you still receive income for 20, 30, 40 years, however long we've still got that property. And this is, you don't get these sorts of returns in a real estate business, as in a traditional real estate business. And this has none of the costs associated with it either. So I'm not going to talk about this. I've kind of touched on all. And then we have the EST token. The EST token is on the Binance Smart Chain. Binance is one of the largest exchanges on the planet, and it has its own network, its own blockchain. And a lot of people do a lot of business on the Binance Smart Chain, the BSC network. So you can rest assured that the blockchain is secure, and that our information on the blockchain is I'm trying to think of the word. It basically means it can't be changed. I'm sorry, my brain isn't working properly at the moment. It just means it's immutable. It can't be changed. So if you have a smart contract registered on the Binance Smart Chain network, then it's available forever. It can't be changed. E-estate is registered in Panama, so you don't need to be registered as a company. You don't need to have a to do financial filings every year, apart from your whatever you do for your own personal tax in your own country, of course. And I can't mention that. Really, you if you wanted to know, you would go to your own tax advisor. But you don't have any of the regulatory challenges with running a real estate business. And the token itself is an asset-backed token. There are thousands and thousands of tokens in the world, but very few of them are asset-backed. They're backed by basically what amounts to a promise, or by consensus. It's worth that value because everybody agrees that it's worth that value. But with the EST, it's actually the price of the token is pegged to the price of the real estate that underpins it. So it's an asset-backed token, making it very, very, very secure. The buyer contract, every time you buy a contract, you sign a contract, it comes up on the screen, you squiggle on the screen, that's your signature, and it's a legally compliant contract. And that's also available, a copy of that's available on the Binance Smart Chain network forever. And I suggest that when you've got those, you download them, keep them safe on your computer. That is like a title deed. That's like an asset for you to offset against your earnings, for one, but it's also a legal title or a legal document showing your claim to that share of the document. So there's a bonus program as well, and users can earn e-tokens as you purchase properties. You can be awarded with e-tokens, and e-tokens will allow you to spin the money wheel, and you could turn 100 ETK, 100 tokens into $1,000. I've not heard of anybody win the $1,000, but I'm sure some people do. But it's not unusual to get up around $25, $50. And when you think of it, it's free because you were going to buy that property anyway. And the fact that you get some ETK tokens for doing it, and then you come here and win $25, it's just free money. So the e-estate, a lot of people want to know, where does the company come from? It's basically a partnership between the Association of Real Digital Realtors. Brandon Stevenson is the founder and CEO. And Mike Hamilton is the head of a property company called Eli Property Group Incorporated. And they've been involved in real estate for over 50 years. And so between them, they said, well, we want to bring real estate, real estate agents into the digital world. And as you know, many industries are making a move onto online, not just online, but in becoming digitized, becoming part of the digital world. A lot of industries struggle with that. The real estate industry struggled a bit because the first real estate that was tokenized was in 2015. And since then, really, all the tokenized real estate has been treated as real estate was prior to digitizing, in that you would digitize it and then you would give it to you go out and find a large buyer who can afford to buy a villa in Florida, or somebody who can buy a whole skyscraper in New York, or whatever. So it was, although it was digitized, it wasn't really maximized. It was still just the same thing, but digitized, if you see what I mean. What e-estate has done is it's digitized real estate in such a way that you and I can take advantage. We can just buy a few tokens. We don't have to buy the whole skyscraper or the whole villa. We can just buy what we can afford. You might be able to afford 1,000 or 10,000. You might only be able to afford $100. Okay, so you can still buy property, but you don't have to buy the whole property. And this is the future of digitized real estate, and e-estate are leading the field in this. So it's been a long time coming, but it's here. Every good idea has its day eventually, and the time for this is here right now. So this is a partnership between e-estate, Eli Property Group Incorporated, and ARDR, the Association of Real Digital Realtors. So what do you do now? Well, first thing you need to do is to register. You create an account on e-estate, create KYC and anti-money laundering checks. So that's, there's no way around that. This is a legitimate business that's registered properly. So you need to comply with those regulations. Then you choose your investment level, and that includes as well how much money you're going to put in initially. You can always add to it later. And that's based on what do you want to get out of it. That's based on what do you want to get out of it in the end. Then you acquire the tokens and fund your account. You can deposit into your account in any one of about 50 different tokens, cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, various types of USDT, all the common ones. And then you buy the property, and you invest, and you can track your returns. You can monitor your returns every single day. Then as you get your profit back, you can do one of two things. If you decide you want to auto capitalize on that property, then as you're buying the property, you tick a box, you check a box to say auto capitalization. What that means is you don't receive profits every day back into your wallet. Your profits go back into the property. So at the end of the 18-month period, you own more of that property than you bought at the beginning. Whereas if you don't check that box, you get the profit back into your e-wallet. And so at the end of the 18-month period, you still only own the amount of that property that you purchased at the beginning, but you've had all your profit back for you to do other things. For example, spend it, buy some more property, give it to somebody else to buy some property. Okay, there are many different options. So there are security features around the whole setup, the blockchain infrastructure. We've spoken about that a few times. Smart contract audits. Okay, the smart contracts that we deal with undergo regular security audits to make sure that it's still secure. KYC and AML compliance is important. And data encryption, this is all around the security of the data, the security of the servers, and so on. So that's all done to a very, very high level, the highest level you can, in fact. So we're registered in Panama. So we have tremendous tax conditions, or favorable tax conditions, and a clear legal status. We strive to comply with KYC and AML regulations, and we have tokenized assets. So we don't offer legal or tax advice. You need to consult whoever you normally get your tax advice from. So another risk, some of the risk factors are market volatility. So real estate, I'm sure you know, real estate can go up in price, down in price. So as that happens, then our token varies in value, not based on that property, but between properties, the tokens may have a different value. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. That's an important thing to note. Laws governing blockchain and tokenized assets are still developing, so there may be some regulations coming down the pipe in the future. And operational and technical risks. There are smart contract vulnerabilities, not necessarily with our smart contracts, but in general, it's a piece of code that runs on a blockchain. So nothing is impervious, nothing is 100% safe. There are vulnerabilities in code running on networks, and so you just need to be aware of that. But there are no more vulnerabilities in what we're doing than anybody else operating on a blockchain. There are cyber threats, we may have platform downtime and so on. But we do conduct security audits. We want to be ahead of the game, make sure that those risks are minimized, and if they are identified, they're dealt with very, very quickly. So what do you need to do? 1 is start investing, 2, contact us, and 3, learn more. And to start investing, go back to the person who recommended this video to you, go back to the person who recommended you come on this webinar, this Zoom call, and ask them for their referral link. They're probably there should be an agent with eEstate. Ask them for their agent's referral link, follow the link, and register. Simple as that. Register, deposit some funds, buy a property, and start monitoring your progress in eEstate. And if all you want to do is buy property, that's all you need to do. But I'm going to assume that a lot of people want to also become an agent as well as become a buyer. And the reason is that if you become an agent, you can also earn commissions. And if you become an agent before you buy your first properties, then you are your own customer. You as a buyer are a customer of you as an agent. So when you as a buyer buy property, you as an agent receive commissions. If you don't do that, if you're just a buyer, then your commissions go to the person who introduced you. So the choice is yours. To me, it made perfect sense for me to become an agent because I knew I was going to introduce some other people anyway. I know a lot of people in the real estate world, and I know that a lot of them absolutely love this setup. So what is a digital real estate agent? We connect buyers to the properties. We contact our buyers and we say, listen, you want to buy some property? Come and have a look at this. This is eEstate. This is what they do. These are the properties. See how good it is. Look at all this money. Look at the security. Look at all these benefits. Okay, and then they buy some property from us. So that's kind of the same as a realtor does or a real estate agent, as a real estate agent does in the offline world. We just do it through eEstate. Now, before you get to that point, in fact, I won't get ahead of myself. So we need to understand the blockchain, tokenization, and online property markets. We don't need to be an expert. We just need to understand how it works. You have a flexible schedule. You can work your own hours, work as many hours as you like, or as few hours as you like. And you literally have unlimited earning potential because there's more property available in the world. There's more property available to be brought into this system than you can possibly outwork. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how much money you make, there will always be some more properties that we can bring in for you to make even more money on. So there really is unlimited earning potential in eEstate. So when you register as an agent, you need to do a couple of things. One is you need to I was going to say pass a small exam. It's not really. It's you need to learn some things, and then you need to show that you've learned and understood those things. So it's not just sign a form. You actually need to have some knowledge, some understanding, and be able to demonstrate that. The other thing you need to do is to commit to paying a subscription. And you can pay a subscription monthly or annually. If you pay it monthly, it's $9 a month. If you pay it annually, it's $90 for the whole year. So it's basically you get 2 months of subscription free. And it's not a huge amount, but it does mean that you've made a commitment to all the rules and regulations associated with being an agent. That's an important thing. You haven't just stumbled into it accidentally. You made a conscious decision. This is what I'm going to do, and I agree to abide by all of the guidelines put out by eEstate, and dare I say, the rules. Nobody likes rules, but there must be some. So we offer a subscription model, and how to apply. This isn't quite in the right order, but you do pay a membership fee, and then you apply online to become a digital real estate agent, and then you sign a contract. That contract's available on the blockchain. It's available in your back office, and I suggest that you download that and keep it somewhere safe. That's your proof that you are, that you are an agent. And then you have platform access as an agent. There's part of the platform that buyers don't have access to. As an agent now, you have access to those parts of the platform. So what income streams do you get as an agent? Well, the main sources of income are deal commissions. If one of your buyers, when they buy a property, you earn a percentage from each client. As your clients are earning, as they're earning their profits, then you receive a commission based on how much profit they're receiving, not from them, it's from eEstate. As you build your business, this is based solely on the amount of volume you have in your business, how many properties, how much volume in terms of dollar value your buyers and your agents have purchased within your team. Okay, then you receive agent bonuses based on that. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And you also receive some e-token rewards, which we may touch on in a minute. I'm a little bit behind time, so I might have to just skip over a couple of things. So there's the commission structure. You have deal commissions, you have profit commissions, and your deal commissions, you receive these different percentages down to 8 levels. So if you introduce somebody who introduce somebody who introduce somebody and so on down 8 levels, and they purchase property, you still receive a commission based on that. And of course, if you have if you introduce 2 people, and each of those 2 people introduce 2, and each of those 2 people introduce 2, by the time it gets down to the 8th level, it's a lot of 1% being awarded to you in commissions from a small percentage, but on a large number of properties, and that happens every single time they buy a property. Most people do not just buy one property. I think I've got about 10 properties on the go now, and really I've only been in this about 3 months, and a lot of people are doing a lot better than that, of course. So, and every time I purchase a property, the 8 people above me all receive a commission. So that's a great way of rewarding you for doing the work of bringing people into the team who are going to bring in people who buy properties. On the right-hand side, we have profit commissions. So this only goes down 5 levels, but it's still worth having because these profits continue on into the future for a very, very long time. We may have some of these properties for 20, 30, 40 years. Who knows how long we're going to have them for? But you'll continue to receive bonuses, profit commissions based on that positioning on into the future. There are levels, and this is what I alluded to earlier, that based on how much turnover you have in your business, you receive different bonuses. So if your turnover in your business is $500, then you receive 100 ETK. And if it's $3,000, you receive 150 ETK plus $30, all the way down to level 10, when you have $1 million volume, which sounds like a lot of money. It really isn't that much money at all. You receive a $10,000 10,000 ETK reward plus a $10,000 bonus. Now, bear in mind, you're not building your business to get this $10,000. You're building this business so that you can have the sales, the deal commissions, and the profit commissions The fact that you also receive $2, $3, $4, $10,000 is just a nice bonus. It's just icing on the cake. It's a nice little thank you for the work you've done, because when you succeed, it helps estate succeed. When I succeed, it helps you succeed, because there's a bigger business, there's more success for you to point people at and say, you could, look what this guy's done, you could do that, you could even do better than that. So the percentage breakdown for the revenue share, your personal investments, you receive $100. So you don't, you receive 100% of your personal investments. Okay. And then on level one, first level down, you receive 80%, second level 40%, and so on. So that's the percentage breakdowns of your investment volumes. And that goes down 8 levels. The money wheel, I'm going to skip over the money wheel. We touched on that earlier. As a buyer, you get a similar thing, except as an agent, there are many, many, many more things you can do. Almost every step of your progress as an agent, as you work your way through your career progression, almost everything you do, you earn some ETK. So there are many more opportunities to earn ETK. So what do you do now? Well, join the e-estate now, become a certified digital agent and tap into the growing world of tokenized real estate and start earning today. Control your account, enroll in our licensing program, and unlock the full potential of digital real estates. So after signing, you'll receive an email telling you what your next steps are and giving you helpful links, contact information, and so on. You will also have access to the ARDR network and the e-estate agents community. If you go into your back office and click on help, and I forget the actual link, but there's a link, you click on that and you open a Telegram channel directly to support. So if ever you need support, that's how to do it. It's through the help option in the back office. There's a knowledge base where I found these documents, the knowledge base, and there are webinars. There's webinars every day of the week. I'll talk about I may not, I may. And you have 24/7 support. Anytime I've sent a request for support to my support person on Telegram, I've had an answer back certainly within less than an hour, mostly within a few minutes. And I'm wondering to myself, do these people ever sleep? It really doesn't seem like. I don't sleep a lot. So I'm sending messages sometimes at 4 in the morning, sometimes at midday, and I get a response back fairly quickly straight away. So that's as an agent. I just want to touch on this very quickly. We have in the back office now, we have a catalogue for merchandise so that you can advertise your e-estate business. And I'm not going to go through this in great detail, but something that I do see a lot of people do. Now I'll go back to this. I see a lot of people do is they buy some merch from e-estate and they have a coffee cup sat on their desk at work. And of course, it sparks a conversation. They wear a T-shirt, and some of these, or a polo. So so smart earn and free, live free, real estate reinvented. These sort of things. Just these little slogans tend to get conversations started. So this is, you can wear your own advertising campaign if you like. The point being that if you buy some of this merch and you use it, then people will talk to you, and then you just need to have a response. So what's this about? And I say to people, what do you know about tokenized real estate? And most people say nothing. I say, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing tokenized real estate. I put a small amount of my money into real estate investment, and I make great profits, much better than I did in my other real estate, in my proper real estate business. Much better profit, much better prospects for the future, and none of the hassle. And people go, I need to hear more about that. And then I bring them on a Zoom call like this one, or like some of the others that are available during the week. So you just need a way that once you've started the conversation, the merch will start the conversation, and then you can just make sure you've got a very simple approach to engage people in that conversation. Don't try and convince them about e-estate, just some very generic statements. And if they start asking questions, then the answer is, I knew you'd be interested. Come along to the the Zoom call this evening or tomorrow and meet my friend Anthony DeLoach or whoever else is doing the next presentation. Okay, come and talk to them, find out what they've got to say. Then we'll have a conversation afterwards. Okay, and then if you need a conversation and you don't know the answers, get the people who introduced you to join you in that conversation. It's very, very difficult. Don't try and struggle on doing it all yourself. Take advantage of the fact you've got all these Zoom calls available every week. Take advantage of you've got a team who's waiting to help you get started and introduce people, because if they help you become successful, it helps them become successful. So use that as a resource. Don't do it all secretive and then when it doesn't work, probably, oh, I knew I couldn't do it. Okay, don't do that. So just be, use the merch to get your business moving. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the notices that we still have available, the winter property bonus. There are 10 days left. In fact, this is now a day old, so there are 9 days left. If you buy any of these properties, the Los Angeles Villa, you get an extra bonus of 2,000 ETK. The Los Angeles business property, you get 312 EST. One EST is about, EST equates directly into dollars. And the Dubai Business Development, you get 1,027 EST. That's only available until January the 31st. Now, I'm telling you this because you might not be interested in getting involved in those properties, but you might talk to somebody tomorrow, introduce them the next day, and they are interested. So if you have people that are interested in investing in real estate, get them involved in this commission, in this bonus, because it won't be there in 9 days or in 10 days time. It'll be gone. So that's the winter property bonuses. 10 practical tips for estate buyers. And I'm borrowing this straight from the Telegram group. So one is start smart. Begin with a comfortable amount and scale your capital gradually. Number 2 is focus on your buyer level. Higher buyer levels unlock access to more attractive properties and better conditions. Number 3, reinvest. Don't rush withdrawals. So don't think I've made $10, I want to take it back out. Again, when you have some money, that you've earned some money, then reinvest. Now, I'm not saying reinvest 100%, but don't be in a rush to take everything out either. Use auto capitalization. That's based on two things, if you like, two options. One is, if you use auto capitalization, you get more of the property, but you don't have profits coming back into your e-wallet. And I realized fairly early on that when I show people my back office, brand new people, to talk to them about e-estate, they're interested in whether they can see what I've earned. And it's all very well saying, look, this is how much I've earned, but it's been reinvested back into that property, as opposed to saying, look, here's $100 I earned. I could withdraw that if I want to, or I could buy another property if I want to. That has more of an impact. So I'd say use that auto capitalization by all means, get a bigger share of the property, but don't do it exclusively. Do a bit of both. I hesitate to give you advice. That's what I did. Diversify across properties. So have a few apartments, a few houses, a few villas, and so on. Use the bonuses. Property bonuses allow you to increase your total share without additional purchases. Watch for token availability. As a property is about to sell out, you'll see the number of tokens still available decrease, and they will sell out very quickly. I was talking to somebody one day and I said, this is about to run out. And before they got in there to buy it, they've missed it. Whereas I've been telling them for about a week and they didn't take any notice. But when I said it's urgent now, and they missed the boat. So sucks to be them, I guess. Aim for level 4/5 access, because they give you the best returns. Now, yes, you need more money to play in that game, but you also make a lot more money. Phase 2 is shorter, and token buyback happens significantly earlier. Okay, so you get your money back much sooner. There are also some properties, I said I might tell you this if I remembered, there are some deals where you don't get the 10% ongoing. At the end of the 18 months, you get your initial investment back again. So with some of them, for example, you put $10,000 in. By the 18-month period, you've made $30,000 at least, plus you then get your $1,000 back again. Okay, so your $10,000 back again. So there's some of those, but you need to be up in level 4 or 5 to take advantage of those. That is tremendous. It doesn't matter whether this is real estate or cryptocurrency or stocks and shares, or it doesn't matter what it is. If you can get back in 18 months, you can get back 3 times your investment, plus then get your capital back. That's just an enormous investment opportunity. It's a huge investment opportunity. And you will know people who want to take advantage of that. So don't be shy in talking to them about it. After building a portfolio, reaching buyer level, activate an agent subscription to earn agent bonuses. And I suggest actually you do that before you build your portfolio so that you receive your commissions as an agent from you as a buyer. And plan for the next level. Treat purchases as steps towards your next buyer level, not isolated actions. So have a plan in mind. Everything you do is part of that plan. It's not the end. It's not the objective to buy that property. That's just one of the tools you're using to achieve your objectives. So that's kind of all I wanted to talk about with e-estate. I'm going to close down the share and I'm going to come back to the room. And what I'm going to say is that if you are, so you will fall into one of 2 categories. One is somebody who's interested in real estate. And now that you've had a look at e-estate, you're interested in real estate with much more, much better returns, much better profits, much more security, much more accessibility, a wider portfolio, more global reach, without any of the hassle of that you've experienced in your previous life as a real estate business person. Okay, in which case you're going to love e-estate. Don't hesitate. Get back to the person who introduced you. Sign up now. Look through the properties that are available to you. It will blow your mind. As a real estate person, it will blow your mind. Now, the other type of person you might fit into this category is you're not a real estate person. And like I said, this could be stocks and shares, or this could be cryptocurrency. But what you do like to do is to get involved in online businesses where you can put some money in a passive way. You can make some money in a passive sense, and you can also make some money in it from team building efforts, or maybe even just you're interested in the passive side, which is absolutely fine. You can do that. You can build a large income from just a passive business with e-estate. So if that's you, then again, get excited. This is a real business backed with real assets. It's backed with real property. So get back to the person who introduced you. Get back to the person who sent you on this Zoom call. Get back to the person who sent you this video. Ask them for their agent's link to get involved in e-estates. And you'll be amazed how simple it is to do, how inexpensive it is to just get up and running and have your own real estate business. And with that, I wish you every success with your e-estate business. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you again on Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. UK time every week. So God bless, and thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Bye now.